Well, ladies and gentlemen, so welcome to our conjunction video of the week. And this week we're going to be covering our conjunction of Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn. And what happens when Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn are conjunct in your particular horoscope. And as always, if you do not know if you have this conjunction, which house it's in, which sign it's in, what nakshatra it's in, all the other astrological details, for that check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, Astrology, Conjunction, Aspects, Mahadashas at the Speed of Light, including all my consultations and reading at this link. So, Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn. What do these planets mean, first of all? Sun represents the light of everything. It represents your soul, your character, your personality, fathers, authorities, government, gold. Sun actually represents astrology as well. Sun represents in your life exactly where your light will shine. Then, Mercury is your analytical intelligence, logical intelligence, it's speech, communication, writing, journalism, skills, communication devices. Then comes Jupiter, which is children. It's a significator of children. Gurus, teachers, counselor, advisors, guru-like figures. Philosophy, religion, spirituality. It represents the environment, biology. Then comes Saturn. Discipline, structure, organization, sacrifice, duty, commitment. It's the practical world, realistic world, represents servants, working class people, government administration, any kind of administrative work, social welfare, social reform. Actually, Sun is social welfare, social reform. Saturn also represents non-profit organizations. So now all these four energies are conjunct in your particular horoscope. So what do they mean? So when you have these planets conjunct in your horoscope, first of all, what this shows is that this person most definitely is very technically gifted. This person is very good with learning about statistical and logical subjects. Kind of like somebody who will be very good in physics, mathematics, statistics, analytics. Somebody who has the ability to comprehend the measurement, ability to study measurement, because remember, Mercury is measurement. Naturally, Sun represents mathematics. It can also represent physics. Saturn is mechanical knowledge, Jupiter is in knowledge of the environment. So that's one of the most practical things I have seen, especially in my analysis of, doing career consultations of people for the last 7 years. Like this calculation, this particular conjunction really makes a person a very logical, analytical person, like somebody who likes to be in an environment where they can understand things in a more calculative way. These people are very much into working for society, wanting to give something back to society, wanting to attain knowledge through which somehow they can help the environment around them. And especially, this is the person who will find, as they grow older, will find great interest in politics, government, especially government. And they would be getting much more involved in government-related things that can affect the environment. And they are very obedient, dedicated workers. They have this intelligence that my purpose of existence in this life is to dedicate myself to giving service to others. They become great managers, like very strict managers, like managers who really look at everything. Like they don't just judge you based on your character. They don't just judge you based on how nice of a clothes you're wearing, how much better looking you are than other people. No, they're going to look at the paper. They're going to look at the numbers. They can say, what have you done in the past 6 months? What are the numbers that you are producing? What type of a work hours that you have done? Like, they like to look at the statistics of an individual to really judge them. Because whenever Jupiter, Saturn come together, it makes a judge. Sun represents a leader. Mercury represents a calculator. Jupiter is naturally a significator of management. Mercury is also management, MBA. So you are combining all these three things together. So they become very good judge of character. Like, they are the people who do excellent in business related to recruiting. Like nowadays, literally since last, I would say 15 years or 17 years, recruiting business has really skyrocketed. Like, people who recruit other people for other companies. And they have the ability to judge, is this person right for this company or not? This shows your father is probably either worked in government, very much interested in government, very hardworking, dutiful person. And most of your knowledge, most of your wisdom in life, the hard work that you gained came through authoritative figures. Whether it was your father, your maternal uncle, your gurus, your intelligence really is always shaped with authoritative people. People who are very old school in nature, people who are very obedient in nature. These are the people you're naturally attracted to. Now, obviously, you have to understand, we're not including Mars, Moon, Mercury, Rahu, Ketu in this. Those are other energies that are doing their own thing. But the thing is, now you have the king with the sun. Now, obviously, many people talk about the combustion of these planets. Well, if these planets are less than 5 degrees to the sun, because I have to be practical. I can't say, like in Parashara, how Saturn by 17 degrees gets combusted. Jupiter gets, I think, 14 degrees. Mars gets 19 degrees. I have not seen that. It is working pretty okay, fine. Once it's within 5 degrees orb of the sun, that's where you see the combustion, and that's where you can see that this person becomes quite lethargic, lazy. This person has value, but just like, here's the thing about combustion. You want to achieve something. You have the desire to achieve something. You think about achieving those things. But what happens is, when it comes time to doing it, something just gets stuck. Because remember, Saturn represents those work ethics. Okay. Mercury represents skills. Jupiter represents the intelligence. When these things are combust, they're still alive, they're still working, they're still alive and kicking. But for them to go and leap becomes a very, very strenuous task. These guys, or these people, procrastinate in their actions. Mind may not procrastinate because mind is not there, moon is not there. Their energy and action, Mars is not there. So within this conjunction. So Mars is willing to go and fight and do it. But because these planets are combust, they are major planets also. So the intelligence sees it but cannot understand as to how to go about it. They have the energy to go about it, but they just don't have that intelligence to go about it. That's what happens with combustion. But rarely you will see all planets combust at the same time that close. Because most of the time, one planet will leave within 15 days. The other planets are slowly come together. By that time, Sun, has already moved on to other signs. So rarely you'll see all these planets conjunct to the Sun like less than 5 degrees. But if they are not in 5 degrees, practically, I have not seen them to do any kind of a damage to a person. And in terms of education, obviously I've always seen these people either going to education of management, going to education related to statistics, mathematics, and especially if you look at this conjunction from Karakamsha Lagna, okay, which is one of the alternative ascendants of Gemini. And ever since I've learned this from Mark Boney, I went back, okay, because I always save horoscopes of people in my software. So I have a section of people who are in IT, engineering, doctor, nursing, surgeons, entertainers, musicians. When I especially went and looked at, these 10 mathematics and mathematicians, they had Sun affecting the 5th house. Sun and Mercury were somehow affecting the 5th house, or they were placed in the 5th house. And one of the quotes of Gemini is that Sun in the 5th house can make for a mathematician. I mean, it's so beautiful. Obviously, from the ascendant itself, you will notice that the 10th lord has to be connected with Saturn and Mercury in order for you to be in physics, mathematics, like a nakshatra placement, sign placement, aspects by these planets will be there. And especially you should, what is that? Planets and Education. If you read that book by Naval Singh, beautiful book on understanding education. But for me, more than even that, just learning Gemini through Mark Boney has really made just things easy. Like I've fallen in love with Charadhasha. For me, Charadhasha gives me much more concrete evidence of what is to happen. Like a Mahadasha, Vimshotri Dasha is extremely important, but it's about showing your mundane sustenance. Like in a 17-year period of Mercury, okay, it will show, okay, this is a great Mahadasha. Then you'll have small Antradasha comes into play. That may show this wavy things. But particularly, what exactly are you concentrating on? Particularly, what is it that is now happening is seen through Charadasha, the sign-based calculation system. Like I've talked about this, especially if you notice in my mega gathering of Dasha with all those great astrologers. And I'm going to have one next month in May. Not next month, I mean month and a half from now in May. Again, on a very good subject. But this particular conjunction really is for a person who will do very well in logic and analytical based education and understanding. Because remember, Mercury is education, learning. Jupiter itself represents the higher knowledge. So you'll see environmental scientists, you'll see management careers, you'll see biomechanical careers. You will see people who may even go into law. But again, for law, Mars has to be involved. That's something I noticed too. From getting my Gemini lessons, when I went back and looked at all the lawyers who I've saved, Mars was influencing from Karakamsha Lagna to the 5th house or the 5th lord. So this is why I'm just finding Gemini so much more simpler for today's world. And obviously then you have Pi Paddhati, which has just shows you, okay, this is it. See, Pi Paddhati and Gemini are two things that shows you this is what is to happen. It is going to happen. Parasha, I remember Ernest Willem said, Parasha shows all the things that you experience in the middle. Gemini shows what is to happen. And Pi Paddhati shows what is to happen. I mean, Pi Paddhati it's just beautiful, amazing. And actually, if you need Pi Paddhati reading, check out the links here. It's I think option 13 or 14, option 14. Okay. So guys, if you're new to my channel, subscribe below. Again, if you want to know where your planetary placements are, my books, reports, consultations, for that, check out the links here. I will see you later. Bye-bye.